So I think an area that confuses people a lot of the times about meditation is that the way, at least the way I see it, the ego actually gets bigger and bigger throughout this process. So you can imagine it like a water hose in your, imagine yourself, imagine your mind is like a water hose, and when you meditate, you're sort of turning on the faucet a little bit, and any debris in that water hose, any gunk in that water hose is going to be pressurized, right? So if you have a lot of gunk in there, it's going to be harder. It's going to come out possibly at the end of that hose. It's going to come out wildly, right? And so a lot of people, I think, get into meditation and they think that they're going to get, calmer and stuff at first, but if they have enough subconscious buildup, they're not going to get calm. Maybe for here and there, it depends on just how it fluctuates, on how the subconscious muck that you're working on, how that kind of comes out in different ways. But another reference recently, I saw the movie, one of the later Thor movies, Love and Thunder, I think. And, at the beginning, Thor talks about, there's a joke about meditation, the guy who plays Thor or whatever. And he says he tried meditation and it made him angry. And, and so I think that people don't get that it's actually stuff you have to go through. And another area is, I think, I've been seeing a lot of, and I guess I've always seen this sort of like why you have to be arrogant to be successful, or you have to, and I think that level where this idea that you need to be arrogant to be successful, I think that's sort of missing. That's a certain level of where your ego gets, right? But if you keep going and you keep aiming for peace instead, that eventually dissipates. I think that the way I see that arrogance is kind of like this defense mechanism. It's pushing others away so that sort of the inner peace can sort of blossom for the individual. So I just wanted to talk about that because I think a lot of the times, we get this idea in our head that we're going to shrink our ego, that we've got a big ego and we're going to shrink it. And I don't think that's exactly what's happening. I think the ego gets bigger and bigger, and then it goes away. And what you're typically seeing with somebody who's, struggling mentally is that ego is that energy is rising up, and they don't know what's happening, and so that's when you get into anxiety and things like that. And so you just have to keep focusing on the end game, which is peace, right? And you're going to have to allow, we're all going to have to allow that if we want to get to that level, that more peaceful level, we have to allow our bodies to push out all that gunk. And, I think it's a confusion that we have, that we've got this idea like obliterate the ego and all this stuff. And really, I think that's the wrong way to look at it. I think the right way to look at it is to just keep remembering peace and try to not get too caught up in, the negative parts of ourselves, and try to let them go, and not really judge ourselves for having those things, and just letting them be there and letting them develop and eventually they sort of disappear. And another analogy, I think, or another metaphor for this would be something like boiling water, right? It boils, slowly over time, and then it gets faster, and you get this rolling boil, and you get this steam. And so, it becomes smoother as it gets heated. But there's turbulent periods where you've got all this turbulence in the water, but over time, it's like you get sort of this constant sound. And so that's what's happening, is when you're getting angrier and all this muck's coming up out of your subconscious, is it's reaching these tipping points. And after a while, it will simply get to that certain tone where it's just a constant tone. And so just something to be aware of, a way to see it, my perspective. And that's just sort of my perspective from my own experimentation with meditation and different things like this in my own life. All right. Well, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be trying to post some more of these soon.